This week on Beacon Web News, we take a look at last week's rally in the campus center. Visit the Armory on Ashland Street for the dedication ceremony of a fallen North Adams veteran. And check out WJJW's The Sound. Then we'll look at the local 7-day forecast and meet the Television and Film Society for this week's club feature. That's coming up next on Beacon Web News.
Hello and welcome to the November 15th episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Samantha Niskern. First, let's throw it to Skylar Case at our BWN Weather Center. What can we expect this week, Skylar?
This week is looking chilly and crisp, temperatures reaching to the highest of 47 degrees. But don't worry, I'll be back shortly with the full 7-day weather forecast. Sam?
Last Tuesday, MCLA students held a rally in the campus center to mark 1 year of Donald Trump's presidency. Students from different clubs and organizations gathered to speak about their experiences and to bring the community together, unified against bigotry and hate. Karen Canella was at the rally and has more. Karen?
What did you do? Do you want to tell them nothing? Thank you.
Just 1 year later since Donald Trump was elected, MCLA students have gathered once again in an effort to demand change not just on campus but in the country. The student-led event included students discussing some of their personal experiences and urged other students to get involved by speaking out against the current president's actions. Emery Bivens explains to us what the gathering was for.
It has been a year since Trump was elected and a year since the first rally held on this campus by the Latin American Society, which then kicked off an upswing in committees, movements, and protests, both campus-focused and global.
Bivens also tells us what were some of the intentions for the rally.
This rally is intended to maintain that momentum and to maintain the movement, to keep pushing for change, to keep pushing activists.
Mariah Wilson shares with us some of the impacts the rally had on her.
I was personally moved. A couple of people had me on the verge of tears. It was kind of emotional for me just to hear people talk about the things that they've seen and they've been through, and then they ask, what did you do? And you're like, wow, there's a lot more that I could be doing to make things better and more equal.
Wilson also states the importance of having rallies like these on campus.
It's really healthy for people to express their opinions and get the voices out there and views out there that some people probably have never even heard before in their life.
Maya McFadden points to some of the biggest issues of activism.
The big problem with activism is people don't know other people's circumstances, so I thought that was kind of a big goal of the rally, to just make people aware of other people's backgrounds and circumstances.
McFadden tells us some of the big outcomes she thought this year's rally had.
I think it really opened a lot of people's eyes to other people's struggles and backgrounds.
LaJuan Allen shares some of the important goals of the rally.
To make sure that people understand what we're saying and that we just don't sound like we're complaining, but we're actually trying to bring awareness to things that are happening, not just in the world, but on this campus as well.
Allen also tells us of some of the changes he wants to see in our own campus.
I want to see emphasis put on things like when people write nigger in the library furniture and put swastikas embedded in the library furniture.
The rally was a success where many students came together to fight for what is right. Student leaders hope that MCLA will keep joining in efforts to make a change, not just in our campus, but in our country. For Beacon Web News, I'm Karen Canella.
This past weekend was Veterans Day, and in honor of the late Michael DeMarsico II, who was killed while in Afghanistan, the Armory on Ashland Street was dedicated to his name. Claire Harrison was on the scene. Claire?
On this past Veterans Day, Saturday, November 11th, the North Adams Armory was dedicated to Specialist Michael DeMarsico II. Michael, or DeMar as he was affectionately known, was a Drury High School graduate who was killed in action in 2012. The ceremony lasted for about an hour, and over 100 people braved the freezing cold temperatures to honor DeMar and hear the speakers.
As our nation celebrates Veterans Day, we honor America's men and women in uniform who made the ultimate sacrifice by remembering their bravery and by doing our best for their fellow service members when they arrive home. We owe everyone in the armed services a true debt of gratitude. To the DeMarsico family and the entire North Adams community, thank you for doing your part to honor our service members, veterans, and their families on this day.
Guest speakers at the ceremony included Pastor Dave Anderson.
Monuments are erected to help us forever remember the heroes among us who served and sacrificed with honor.
U.S. Representative Richard Neal.
It's not really much different than what Lincoln stated at Gettysburg when he said, "We'll quickly forget what people said here, but we'll long remember what people did here."
Mayor Richard Alcombright.
Today, we honor his memory and his legacy with this dedication.
State Representative John Barrett III.
He loved football. He was a good athlete. He loved his high school. He loved his community. He served his community well. And now, we honor him today.
And State Senator Adam Hines.
He said, "You'll know the Americans because their uniform's going to be crisper, they're going to be stronger, they're going to be bigger, and they're just darn it, they have more courage, and you're going to know it right away when you see it." And that was Michael.
Freshman Aiden Rawson gave us his thoughts on the ceremony.
My favorite part of the ceremony was when his teacher got up to discuss what it was like to have him in class and how she knew him before he even went off to war. The way she described him and the way she talked about him was just really heartfelt. And it's one of those things you always remember the teachers that you have and the teachers that make an impact on you. And it's not really often that you hear about vice versa.
A young man from this great city died in Afghanistan, and I knew right away it was my Michael. I spent the next week questioning my career. I didn't want September to come. But Lisa told me that I had helped a young boy become a man that wanted to defend this country at all costs. With my history background, I knew what that meant. I made a difference, and I helped Michael make a difference too.
After his death, DeMarsico was awarded the Bronze Medal, Purple Heart, Army Commendation Medal, and Army Service Ribbon, and numerous other commendations and awards. The dedication outside of the Armory serves as a reminder of not only DeMarsico's heroism, but also of the millions of other Americans who bravely fought and continue to fight for our country.
I know you are doing well, and I hope that you know that this city is proud of everything that you have done, because you know I am. Thank you, everybody, and God bless.
Joining us now is Claire Harrison, who has more to share on Saturday's dedication ceremony. Thanks for joining us, Claire. First, I'd like to ask, what was the atmosphere like? Were people proud? Were they solemn? Or was it celebratory?
Well, I would say that this ceremony was definitely a celebration of Michael's life. It was emotional at parts, but generally it was very proud and people were happy to celebrate his life.
And Michael DeMarsico II died about 5 years ago in 2012. Do you think that the dedication helped his family to find some sort of closure or peace?
Well, I don't want to speak for the family, but I would say that this probably helped. We could see the family after the dedication was unveiled, hugging each other in a corner, and they were all very emotional. It was emotional for everyone who was there.
And even though it was bitterly cold, it seems like there were quite a lot of people in attendance. Can you talk more about the turnout and what you think it means?
Yeah, well, as you know, the dedication was on Veterans Day, and there was supposed to be a Veterans Day parade, but the parade was cut short because of how cold it was. And there were over 100 people in attendance, wow, ranging in ages from newborn babies to 80-year-old veterans. So there were a lot of people there. A lot of people came out to see this dedication.
Well, that's great that there was such a good turnout. There were also many public figures like Mayor Richard Alcombright, State Representative-elect John Barrett III, and Mayor-elect Tom Bernard. What do you make of all these dignitaries showing their support or making speeches?
I really enjoyed a lot of the speeches, and actually Elizabeth Warren sent in a letter that was read at the ceremony. And I think that it was really great of them to show their support. Many of them, when I asked, declined to comment because they really wanted to keep the focus of the day on the family and on Michael. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being there on Saturday, and thanks again for speaking with us about it today. I'm sure the dedication ceremony made the DeMarsico family even more proud of Michael. So thank you, Claire. Tonight, Wednesday the 15th, the third annual Campus Center. Tonight, Wednesday 15th, is the third annual Campus Center takeover from 9 until 11 p.m. Come by to play games, get free food, and check out MCLA clubs showcasing what they have been doing all semester. There will be performances, arts and crafts, prizes, and much more. Tomorrow night, November 16th, is the 7th annual Michael S. and Kitty Dukakis Public Policy Lecture with featured guest Jeffrey Toobin. Toobin is currently an analyst for CNN and is a staff writer for The New Yorker. He is known for books such as American Heiress, The Wild Saga of the Kidnapping, Crimes and Trial of Patty, and The Run of His Life, The People versus O.J. Simpson. The lecture begins at 7 p.m. in the Church Street Center. This past weekend, WJJW hosted their annual fall concert series, The Sound. This year's lineup featured performances from the MCLA Jazz Band, Sans Lunaris, A Day Without Love, and more. BWN's Karina Matera was at the show to mingle with performers and audience members alike. Karina?
The Sound is the second annual concert put on by our very own WJJW radio station. The show brought together different kinds of sounds and featured a variety of artists. We were able to see original songs written by the performers themselves and their styles such as jazz, acoustic, rock, and more. PR chair Ariel Brosnan gives us the scoop on the show's environment.
We've been trying to keep it fairly low-key, almost like a coffee house environment, you could say. We've been trying to, so we have some acoustic acts going on. We also have some harder rock acts happening. So it's been important to balance that sound. And it's admittedly been a bit of a challenge in Venable, but we've had a really good sound guy in charge of all that, and he's been working really well with us, and I'm just happy we were able to cooperate with him.
As you may be able to tell, this is a very welcoming environment. The performers made it fun and enjoyable for students, staff, and members of the community. Many of these artists are our very own talented trailblazers. Trailblazer or not, the laid-back, casual atmosphere did not go without notice. I was able to catch up with student performer Luke Tobin as he reveals the turnout.
I mean, yeah, it was nice. I like kind of like the reverb in the gym. Adds a cool sound to it, but I was surprised. I thought it was gonna be kind of empty, but there was a good amount of people. It was cool.
The uniqueness of this event enabled viewers to be exposed to instruments and sounds they may never have heard before. This concert isn't something that happens every week, so the performers have to prepare for their big night, considering there's only 2 like this every year. If you were a student not at this event, you're certainly missing out.
I would tell them that, hey, look, this organizational giant that is 91.1 WJJW just went and threw on something you probably have never seen before unless you were at the Sound last year. Like, you don't see any other organizations or clubs on campus throwing on entire concerts. Like, when have you ever seen that here at MCLA?
Fortunately, if you did miss out, don't worry, there will be another concert just like this one again in the spring.
Be sure to come to that one. We're going to be putting as much work as, if not more work, into this for the spring concert, so definitely come check it out. We'll be getting the details out as soon as we know them, and it's going to be a great time, so please do come out for that.
I know I look forward to seeing this a second time around. For Beacon Web News, I'm Karina Matera.
If you're looking for a good flick to watch this weekend, check out the Identity and Gender Equality Resource Center's movie night this Friday, November 17th. IGE will be showing the film Tangerine in the Sullivan Lounge, with food and drinks provided. The film follows a transgender prostitute who seeks revenge on her boyfriend and pimp after he cheats on her while she's in prison. The movie starts at 7, so make sure to get there early so you can grab a seat. The Roots Teen Center will be hosting a community open mic on Friday, November 17th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. All poets, musicians, artists, and others are encouraged to join and perform. There's no age limit, so everyone is welcome to attend. The open mic will be free entry, but donations are strongly encouraged. If you have any questions, make sure to contact the Roots Teen Center on Facebook. Now, let's go to Julia Texera for this week's campus comment to see what dishes students are most excited about this Thanksgiving. Julia?
With Thanksgiving around the corner, I went around asking students what's their favorite Thanksgiving food.
My favorite food is Puerto Rican food, and
mashed potatoes and ham. And I don't know, I like a lot of food, so anything that's there, I'll eat.
Well, I go traditional, so I like turkey a lot, so that's good. I like it.
My favorite Thanksgiving food is this broccoli casserole dish that my grandma makes every year. It's like a family tradition.
I'm a vegetarian, so tofurkey. It sounds weird, but it's actually really good, and it tastes almost like turkey, but with its own flavor and its own uniqueness to it. I always like it myself, and it's nice because then I can still say like, oh yeah, I kind of eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
My favorite Thanksgiving food is Brussels sprouts because they're bomb. You know, I just like me some Brussels sprouts. You know what I'm saying?
My favorite Thanksgiving food is mac and cheese. My cousins, my grandmother, she makes a certain mac and cheese that has like fish and all this kind of stuff in it. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite, and I wait literally once a year just to have it.
It would have to be stuffing because you could add gravy on there, make it even better.
I like jerk turkey. It's different. It's mixed up.
It's the turkey because it's just the main meal, part of the meal.
As you can see, many students have a variety of favorite foods. And my personal favorite Thanksgiving food is the stuffing because my grandmother makes it every year and it's so good. Back to you, Sam.
Personally, I can't wait to eat my weight in mashed potatoes. Harlequin, MCLA's musical theater club, is holding their 15th annual musical review this weekend. The review will feature musical numbers from shows such as Matilda, Hairspray, High School Musical, Rock of Ages, and many more. The show is free and will take place this Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m., as well as a matinee on Saturday at 1 p.m. And now it's time for your local 7-day forecast with Skylar Case. Skylar?
Hello again, I'm Skylar Case with your full 7-day weather forecast. Today is a little bit of sun shining down on us with a high of 45 and a low of 32. Tomorrow morning brings a few showers followed by a cloudy day with a high of 47 and a low of 23. Friday is back to being sunny for most of the day, but brings a chilly temperature of 38 and a low of 21. This weekend, we will have some rain with a chance of flurries on Sunday morning. Those flurries will then carry over to Monday morning, so make sure you have that extra layer when you're walking to class. Tuesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 42 and a low of 25. And finally, Wednesday, the clouds will start rolling around with a high of 37 and a low of 27. Looks like winter weather is just in time for the holiday season. That's it for this week's 7-day weather forecast. I'm Skylar Case.
Sounds like a lot of cold weather is headed our way. Thanks, Skylar. This Saturday, November 18th, you can lip sync for your life in a lip sync battle hosted by the Student Activities Council. The event starts at 8 p.m. and goes until 10. If you're interested in performing, stop by the SAC office to sign up. Also this Saturday, the 18th, is the Festive Holiday Market hosted by Greylock Works from 10:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. The event will offer live music, local farmers, fermenters and distillers, as well as artisans and textile curators. The market will also feature demonstrations and workshops. You can buy tickets online or at the door. For more information, you can check out www.greylockworks.com/festive. And finally, BWN's Matt Mears visited the MCLA Television and Film Society for this week's club feature. Let's go to Matt now to see what the club is up to. Matt?
This week, I went behind the scenes with MCLA's Television and Film Society Club to find out what goes on. The TV and Film Society's meeting was fairly straightforward, as its members tossed around ideas for the upcoming Campus Center Takeover Night on November 15th. There was also, of course, discussion about the club's current full-length film endeavor, Project Griffin. Club President Kyle Mayberry gave me the details.
Project Griffin is about this girl, Lily, who has powers, and she's at the Arcane Academy, which is the best school on the east side of the Mississippi. Yeah. Basically, she is kind of captured by Oliver Russell and the leader of an agency, Griffin, who kind of train her on how to use her powers, and there's a few plot twists along the way, a lot of different character changes.
A few club members told me their roles within the film.
I am actually one of the actors in the film we're doing right now. I just feel like I'm trying my best, and we all are just kind of doing what we can do to make this a great film.
I'm mostly behind the scenes work.
I'm doing the hair and makeup, and along with designing the superhero and villain costumes.
So I'm having fun creating those with the club opinions.
I especially wanted to know what they liked about the society. What keeps them coming back each week?
The filming of movies, you know. I think everyone, all the club mates here are very good people, very nice.
I enjoy the homey feel that the club gives, as like we all grow closer to each other. We get to know each other more through filming, just showing up each week, you get to know everybody's name, and everything comes together as we all hang out.
I've always been interested in acting, theater, film, etc., and writing, and I felt that this club was probably my best option. The people here are great. They put a lot of effort into doing this, and I'm so glad to be part of this.
Television and Film Society meets Monday nights at 8 p.m. in Bowman Hall, room 208. With your BWN Club feature, I'm Matt Mears.
That is it for this week's episode of Beacon Web News. To stay updated with all things BWN, you can follow us on social media. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you after Thanksgiving break.